Lushan Dubey is an Indian stage actor, film actor, director, and a scriptwriter. She directed, acted, and scripted many drama productions for over 20 years with children. She's also known for her powerful performances in her solo plays like Untitled and Pinky Virmani's Bitter Chocolate. She's known for her performances recently in the movie The Sky is Pink, Mantra, and in the web series Made in Heaven for Netflix. We are very pleased to welcome Lushan Dubey.
हमारे राजा साहब बाराहट से पूछा।
अच्छे बाराहट, एक बात बताओ भाई, देखो तुम भी बहुत बड़े रसिया हो। आदमी का मन एक ही औरत से क्यों नहीं बहलता भाई? ये रोजाना नई भूख क्यों लगती है भला?
हुजूर हुजूर, हलवा भी क्या रोज चखा जा सकता है हुजूर? स्वाद तो बदलना ही पड़ता है हुजूर।
झरोखे से बहुत देर से रानी साहिबा ये सारी चर्चा चुपचाप सुन रही थी। अब उनसे रहा न गया, सो रुनक छुनक करती हुई रानी दरबार में पहुंची और बाराहट से बोली, आप मर्दों को जब हलवा और एक ही औरत मुंह आ जाती है तो आप स्वाद बदल लेते हैं, और हमें पति मुंह आ जाए तो? बाराहट के बहाने रानी साहिबा ने अपने पतिदेव को ये कड़वे बोल तो सुना ही दिए। परसों से अपने लबों को सिए बैठी हुई थी, आज पहली बार मौका मिला। शर्म से गढ़ी आवाज में राजा साहब उठे और बोले,
बाराहट, जवाब दो बाराहट, जवाब दो।
हुजूर हुजूर हुजूर, एक क्यों 21 दे दूं, पर आपकी इज्जत का सवाल है, इसीलिए चुप रहना पड़ता है। वैसे पूजने रानी के मुंह से ऐसी बोली इन्हें शोभा नहीं देती हुजूर, शोभा नहीं देती।
हाय हाय हाय, हमें क्या शोभा देता है और क्या नहीं देता है ये हमारे ऊपर छोड़ दीजिए। पर आप अपने ज्ञान की उल्टी यहाँ वहां नहीं करें तो बेहतर होगा। ये अचानक हो क्या गया? अरे गाय जैसी सीधी साधी सरल रानी और इतनी तीखी बोली, ये तो कभी किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं था। न दरबारियों ने, न बाराहट ने, न राजा साहब ने। ये हो क्या गया? रानी जब रंगमहल पहुंची, पुरानी बातें याद आने लगी। बिस्तर के बदले में जमीन पर बैठ गई। इसी रंगमहल में शादी के बाद 5वीं रात राजा के इंतजार में सपने बुनती रानी अचानक दरवाजा खुला। रानी ने देखा राजा साहब एक छोटी सी बालिका के साथ अंदर आते हुए दिखाई दिए। अचानक एक आवाज सुनाई दी,
ये आप क्या कर रहे हैं चचा अंकल? ये बटन क्यों खोल रहे हैं चचा अंकल? ये मत करिए चचा अंकल, मुझे डर लग रहा है। मुझे डर लग रहा है चचा अंकल। रानी जी, रानी जी, रानी जी मेरी मदद करिए। रानी जी, रानी जी, रानी जी,
चेहरा नहीं है। अचानक घोड़ियों की हिनहिनाहट सुनाई दी। खुशी खुशी रानी नीचे उतरी। साइस लगाम पकड़े घोड़ियों के साथ रुका हुआ था। रानी मुस्कुराई और हाय, हाय। रानी घोड़ी सरकने लगी। पीछे पीछे साइस के घोड़े भी भागने। अरे घुड़सवारी तो इसी ने रानी को सिखाई थी। रानी ने अचानक देखा कि ये साइस भी कितना जवान है भाई। सुंदर सा डील डोल गट्ठा हुआ बदन। रानी ने अपनी बेट को लिया और अचानक साइस के पीठ पर पटका ही। साइस घबराया हुआ देखा कि रानी के चेहरे पर मुस्कुराहट नाच रही थी। साइस ने कहा, अन्नदाता, मुझसे कोई गलती हुई क्या? गलती एक हो तो बताओ ना। तू तो गलतियां पर गलतियां करते आना। कितनी गिनाऊं? कसूर तो तेरा बहुत बड़ा है। एक बात बता, इन 3 सालों में तूने मुझ में और इस पत्थर में तुझे कोई फर्क नहीं नजर आया?
So there's nothing more beautiful than a woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who knows her self-worth, who doesn't only shape her own family, but also becomes a strong voice in changing and shaping the society around her. There's nothing more charming than a thinking, compassionate woman who knows that she is the substantial voice of social change, and she makes everything beautiful and worthwhile, whatever she touches. Our guest today ticks all the above boxes with an innate comfort and ease. She's an Indian stage and film actor, a director, a scriptwriter, a professor and a teacher at Children's Theatre since last 20 years. She's also known for her powerful performance in her meaningful solo plays like Untitled and Pinky Virani's Bitter Chocolate. Recently, she's known for her performances in The Sky is Pink, Mantra, and the web series Made in Heaven for Netflix. We are so glad to welcome you, Lushan ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So to start with, I mean, a director, an actor, a professor, a teacher, a mother, and a wife. I mean, so many feathers in your cap. So many roles that you play on the stage called life. So what is the role that you live for, and what excites you the most?
Firstly, giving me this title of professorship has happened only last year. I've been teaching theatre and ethics in a business school. So last year they awarded me and they conferred this professorship on me. I kind of feel strange when people call me a professor because my husband's actually the professor. I am have been teaching there for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, when you ask me how I don so many roles, I think everything actually, starts with your childhood, So when I think back and I say, how do I kind of dip my toes or my knees or immerse myself in so many things in life? And I go back to observing my father. My father was a physicist, an engineer by profession, but loved physics. So he did physics he told my mother, it's my first mistress, physics.
Okay.
And he was a physicist, and he sang, and he played the mouth organ and the organ, and he was the kind of person who would go for every music recital. I remember being a little girl with 2 pigtails, and he would take my sister and me along to hear recitals, which would go on till late in the night. He would write beautifully. His handwriting was perfect. He was the kind of person who said, do anything you want in life, but do it with perfection, with passion. He even said something like, marry a passion before you marry a man, and I think
so beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful words because actually like he said, it makes you less needy on anybody except what you have created for yourself. So I
Exactly.
think a lot of my osmotic observation came by just watching my father. My mother was an army doctor who also was a very active person. So watching these two very active mentors, in a sense, in front of me, I imbibed some of those, qualities.
Qualities.
In later years, when my father said that, why are you doing so much work, dipping yourself in so many things? And I said, I can only lay the blame outside your door because you, you are the one who started me off. So
Yes.
I think watching him, I imbibed a lot of that. And then, in school, I participated in everything that came my way. When I became a young wife, I learned how to drive and how to cook and how to do just about everything at home when I was barely 22 and a half, 23 years of age in the US.
All
So
right.
always challenges have also come in front of me, which I have enjoyed surmounting. So that is one of the things I think I osmotically, like I said, imbibed early in life. And my father used to say, soak of life. जो भी अच्छी चीज है तुम्हारे आगे जिससे भला हो सकता है
Yes.
अपने के लिए और दूसरों के लिए उसमें अपने आप को भिगो दो
To
you know
both.
literally
Yes. To both.
soak off
Yes.
life. So I think I've done that. And of course, I cannot survive without my organizer. Every night, I have to put down 20 things I have to do. So that's how
Yeah.
I do it with that. And it becomes
That's great.
effortless after a
Yes.
while.
Yes. I see so much of myself there because I'm also a to-do checklist kind of a person, and I have also more than I can chew in my plate, which is good, which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. It's
So,
always nice to extend oneself and see how
yes,
much, whatever doesn't happen for that day gets carried over for the next day. And I'm a
yes,
Buddhist practitioner. And so therefore I would say the mental poise, equilibrium comes with that because that happens
yes.
every morning and evening for me. So it kind of puts you on a track where you are relaxed through it all.
Yes, yes, definitely. And it helps you to find your own center, find your own focus, find yourself.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And in the kind
So,
of profession, sorry,
yeah.
I,
So,
I was saying in the kind
sorry.
of profession I am, in the
Yes,
kind of profession I am, you need to be centered because sometimes things may not work out. You may think big and it may become much smaller than what you had anticipated. But living with dreams is wonderful because it keeps adding to your quotient of happiness.
yes, yes, definitely. So, talking about your line of work, I mean, you have done some phenomenal theater, and I have been fortunate to see you perform in your solo performance of Aruna Schonbach's story. And I had goosebumps sitting out there looking at you perform her heart-wrenching rape scene, and then a woman falling in love, and the woman who was in pain and coma for her entire life. I mean, uh, how real can you get when you stepping in the shoes of someone else? So, myself being an actor, a director, an artist at theater, I would really like you to elaborate on this. I mean, how did you pull that off? That was beautiful.
Firstly, thank you. Thank you so much because each solo I challenge myself more and more. I don't know. I read Aruna's story about I think about 10 years back. I approached the writer, Pinky Virani. I said, I want to do it as a solo. She said, I've sold the rights to somebody else. I cannot give it to you. So then I did Bitter Chocolate. But I read that book with full concentration. And I was extremely moved by the character of Aruna. I think first to create passion in yourself, you have to be impassioned with the body of work that you choose to do. I would find it hard to, though you sometimes tend to do it, mind you, in films, because sometimes a role is given to you and you say, okay, let me just do it, and you're not really that impassioned about it. But I'll come to that later. So I was very impassioned by the character of Aruna. You know, a girl from Konkan, a poor girl who was very pretty, could easily have got married, you know, stayed there, been in the family network, cushioned in that kind of environment, and how she just chose to break free and become this nurse, and she wanted to go abroad and study abroad, and you know, she wanted to, the dreams she saw for herself were just way outside anybody, I think, in her situation would have imagined it. So I was very blown by this character. And I was very disappointed when I couldn't do it. But thereafter, I think whenever you have a passion and a conviction, something works out in the universe for you. And what happened is Pinky Virani suddenly calls me after I've done a Bitter Chocolate and I've done several solos. She called me up and said, this person I had sold the rights to didn't do it. So I'd love you to do it. So I picked up that book again. And you know, the truth is, Nisha, it's one thing to be impassioned by the content, by the subject. But I don't know, there's something that happens to me when I get onto stage. You know, I've worked with several directors, and especially with one very talented director who I worked with, Royston from NSD, who I would say I give him credit for putting me in a place where I learned to be in the moment, to just be present in the moment. So it's a very catch-22 situation for a solo artist, because you have to be there in the moment, be connected to the audience, and yet completely within that world that you have created for yourself in the instant. And you cannot get disconnected even for a second, because you are a solo artist. If you have other people on stage, you can take a breather. But in this case, it's very difficult. You know, you have to be there all the time. And the words of Stanislavski, I mean, I consider him one of the gurus in theater, ring true, because he said, you know, it's 49% what an actor does, and it's 51% what you infuse in the audience or the viewers. So you are a part of that whole, albeit you and the viewer are a part of the whole, but you have to be concentrating so hard that you're aware of this fractional division between the two, you know, because if I become 95%, 91%, 80% just a performer, then there's the danger of, I would say, self-indulgence. You have to keep watching that audience also. And nothing teaches you that better than a solo artist, because you can't lose them for a second.
Yes.
In Aruna's story, playing 22 characters was not easy. And as you saw, there was accents, you know, her Konkani accent was the doctor's Konkani accent, and the inflection of the voice. And so many things, you know. There was the mother who had a different accent, a different inflection and pitch. The rapist, which I played, that was my voice, by the way, which you heard. Everything was different, you know. It was not a solo artist playing something in a linear way. It was a solo artist dipping into different characters, voices, inflections, accents. So it was tough.
Yes.
And my director, Arvindji, I have to give him credit, because he lets me fly. He allows me to fly. You cannot discover yourself and the coalescing of yourself with another actor, with another character, unless you are given that freedom. if my
Yes.
wings are clipped at each point of time. He doesn't disturb me when I'm in that role and I'm flying. He just doesn't disturb me. He lets me be, and there's something very beautiful about that. I mean, he can tell me what he feels at the end of the rehearsal or the end of a show, but he allows me that freedom. So I think there's been a beautiful sort of connect between the two of us. That is also important, by the way. You know,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
I would love to self-direct a solo, and I think I'm ready for it. However, Nisha, I wouldn't do it because I feel a critical eye is very, very
Very
important
important. Yes.
when
Very
you're
important.
doing something which is so life transforming in a sense for yourself, for for you're taking on something which is portraying the life of a real person who,
Yes.
who was a strong character. So I wouldn't do that. I would like somebody to see it,
Yes.
and
Just yes.
yes.
That's great because you were so immersed in every character that you played on stage that day. The accent, I could feel the police wala, the local Mumbai police, when you were talking, and you were eating that you in your hand, and you were eating that, and the accent was so different. And when you
I
were,
thoroughly enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that because there was that Maharashtrian Kaidala, bara
yeah,
bara. That whole
exactly,
inflection of Maharashtrian lingo and doing
yeah,
certain gestures that these guys do was
exactly.
really wonderful to encapsulate in the role. I
And
enjoy doing
your
a lot of male roles alongside
yes.
female roles.
And your body language, the way you were sitting, and the way everything changed all of a sudden. And then you were this British warden, which had this immaculate, British accent. Oh my God, it was so good to see you. It was a capsule for me because I had my own solo play after coming back in Tagore lined up, and for watching your solo was a lesson. A live lesson for me, a live class was going on. It
Thank
was so
you. Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank
So,
you so
in life, I mean, certain events, certain people, some mentors, some literature, some, there are certain things which shape you into the persona that you are today. So, would you like to share, some idol, some family member, or some guru, or some literature, a piece of poetry which shaped you into the person you are today?
But what is this persona that you are seeing? I don't know what I'm supposed to answer because I don't know the persona that you see,
I mean,
Nisha.
this beautiful, confident woman. I know. I mean, you juggle around so many roles in one day of your life, and I always learn from you whenever I speak to you, whenever I talk to you. Nisha, I'm
Oh,
on to my Buddhist prayer now, and after that, I have to do this, and then I'm directing play with the children. I mean, you're doing so many things, multi-tasking all the time. So I want to know that how do you do that, and what shaped you? Like this? I mean, who was that person? Who was that idol you have been following, or your guru?
I really haven't. I must be honest. I hope it doesn't sound arrogant or anything. I have been my own shaper, in terms of I was a middle child. I lived in the middle child syndrome for many, many years. And I think, at least let me speak for this middle child, what tends to happen is, I was kind of sandwiched between two wonderful siblings, very strong siblings. Um, I think you tend to be a ringside spectator rather than a jumper into the foray. And so I was a very shy, actually, an extremely shy, observant, very observant person throughout my schooling, and I would say even college years. I sketched a lot. I used to come back home and do a lot of mimicry. I would, observe people and then imitate them, several people. And I think my painting, I still paint, by the way.
Oh, wow.
my painting and my art and my powers of observation, because that was displayed in my mimicry. My father used to love my mimicry. I think observation was my biggest teacher, I would
Okay.
say. If you ask me honestly, I think, it's, you hear the phrase, life teaches you, life teaches you. But what is that? What is that life that teaches you? For me, that sort of branches off into an area of observation. I still do. I mean, my sister once wrote something to me on my birthday, and she said, the one with the eyes that used to rove all around the room and observe everything, from the
Okay.
curtain to the shoes to the hands. I have a fetish for hands because I feel they
Okay.
are your second actors.
True.
So observation, I would say, I would really say, I mean, I've admired people like Mother Teresa. I've admired a Martin Luther King. If you ask me that question in terms of human beings, I've admired my parents. I've admired little things from everybody, because
Yes.
observation does that. It makes you take the good,
True. Very
from
true.
so many
Yes.
things in life. So I would not say there's been any icon that I've followed in my profession, as in, I mean, you admire people, but I've taken lessons from life through observation.
That's great. That's great. Observation is important, and specifically the field that we are in, observation is the key. So everybody these days is depending on digital space for all the artists, the actors. For them, the digital space has become the new canvas and the new stage. But do you think that it does justice to the sanctity of the medium called theatre? I mean, what are your views on it?
See, I'll tell you one thing, Nisha. My intrinsic nature is such that when something challenging comes, I feel the desire to reinvent. It's just me. Then I wanted to do solos, and I'll just give you an example. And hello, I just didn't want to do just a solo. I wanted to do a solo. I wanted to do it in Hindi, and I wanted to do it with puppets and
Okay.
sort of employ ventriloquism and change voices. And I think a clip that you just played.
Yeah.
And I think all my friends said, "Oh my God, how are you going to do this? And what if it really falls flat on its face? What if people don't take to it? What are you going to do? Supposing you forget your Hindi, supposing this happens, supposing that happens." And the more they said it, the more I felt like I had to rise to the occasion. So I'm very driven by that, even by the work that I create. As you know, Nisha, we've chatted before. I like to create from scratch. So when
Yeah.
I did this production for Save the Children, they came to me and said to me that, you have to do a piece for us. And here's the material. It was statistics. What is the health budget? What is the
Oh.
budget? What is the budget for health in our country? And I said, is this it? They gave me like a pamphlet of statistics. And they said, yes, now make a solo on this. So, oh my goodness. So, I went actually and spent some time under the flyovers to just see urchin children. You haven't seen that solo of mine. To see a boy of 9 years of age, to see a little girl, without any clothes, running around, like a laborer's child. Um, I went through the paths of observation in
And you
very
wrote
different.
the entire script. You wrote the entire script
I
from
know
scratch.
Arvind wrote the script.
Okay, Arvind ji.
I
Okay.
don't wear so many hats. I'm the
Yeah.
producer in in this case,
Okay.
and I take on the role, the actual role. But he's a wonderful script writer, and he can whip them out like this. So I do write my own scripts also for certain plays. I've done it, like The Life of Buddha. I worked with my cousin on that, and other plays. But this one he wrote,
Okay.
and it was it was just through the powers of observation that one got around to doing that bit. Your question was, sorry, I'm coming back to the question.
Yeah.
What did you ask me?
I mean, do you think the digital space is doing
Yes.
justice?
I think in the digital space, we've got great scope. It is, I myself, I just plunged into it without knowing a thing about the computer. You know, I mean, I know the basics, of course, but
Yeah.
I'm not computer savvy at all. And so I have to keep calling my daughter, who keeps saying, Mama, I taught you that 2 days back. I told you this 3 days back, and what's with you? How did you
Yeah.
forget all this? And I just said, okay, I'm just going to jump into it. So I'm conducting several diction and speech capsules, many. I think I'm on my 8th or 9th one with my cousin Bubbles. And I am also directing a production, a musical online
Wow.
with her.
Oh my God.
So I don't know how it'll turn out, Nisha, but I think that you've got to just roll up your socks and get to that hard work and just do it and hope for the best, because I've got tech guys involved now, and the few clippings that I'm seeing, I sent you a few, are
Yes.
working out quite
Wonderful.
delightful.
Very
So almost
beautiful,
looking
really.
like cinema, almost looking
Yes.
like a movie, you know. So
Yes.
I hope it works out. Fingers crossed.
It
But I
would
think
definitely.
one should reinvent oneself. कहते हैं ना, हिंदी में क्या शब्द है? आविष्कार. अपना आविष्कार करना चाहिए. अपने आप को फिर दूसरे ढंग से देखना चाहिए. अपने काम को दूसरे ढंग से देखना चाहिए. और मुमकिन हो जाता है when you tell yourself, ये मैं कर पाऊंगा, ये मैं कर पाऊंगी. So I think each one of us has to realize that even if the COVID days, by the grace of the universe, if they end, then we can at least have one more something in our pocket, that if you know, we cannot go into the real physical space, which is of course so wonderful with all our chai and samosas and breaks and rehearsal and chatting with our sports team, you know, actors and the whole team. That is of course magical. But hello, you can tell yourself, listen, I've created this also. In case that doesn't work, this can work. So I think before I could spend time, Nisha, feeling sorry for myself, I jumped into the digital space.
That's great. That's actually, you really replied my next question also, because that was my next question to the your message to all those potential artists who are not working these days, who are really missing that space when they used to go to theaters for rehearsals, the painters, the musicians. You know, a lot of people don't have work these days. That's why this campaign we have started at Narrators, to help the artists who are not working due to the pandemic times. So thank you so much. And I can't explain my gratitude today that on just one phone call, you agreed to do this. And thank you so much for taking out time out of your busy schedule. You
May
had
I
to
say one more thing? One more thing.
Please.
Anisha, I think one very important thing is to tell those who live by this profession, you know, that I personally think it's okay for me, you know, I can afford to live even if I'm not doing this. But for those people who are doing this and living through this, this is their means of livelihood. I think we all should form a corpus. Don't go to the government, form a corpus and get everyone to do an input of something. Then those who have power, influence, and who can effectively take this work and channelize it through channels where something commercially can come in. It's wonderful what you're doing, absolutely wonderful. But I'm saying to make it a bigger worth, to give it a bigger worth, to all of us combine together, get them to do work so that they don't feel neglected, besides reinventing themselves, to do that work immediately, and then to go through a channel where commercialization can happen and you can actually give them some money. I think this is true.
Yes, this is the need of the hour. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It is always wonderful to talk to you, and time just flies. But our artist in concert today from Mumbai, the band is with us now. So thank you so much, ma'am, and take care.
Thank you, Nitya. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
dear.
Thank you, ma'am.